Hey, what's up? This is Gardetrace. In Dragon Ball Super's Future Trunks arc, the Potara earrings played a role in which the villains, Goku Black and Zamasu, used them to become Fuse Zamasu. In response, Gowasu gives Goku and Vegeta Potara earrings in order to fuse into Vegeta. Gowasu gives them a warning that the fusion would only last for an hour. It's only permanent for gods. That was an immediate red flag, as it contradicts what the Elder Kaioshin of Universe 7 said in the Majin Buu arc about the fusion being permanent. Period. He didn't say it was only permanent for gods. Of course, Vegito would wind up defusing once he's inside Majin Buu's body as he drops the force field around himself. Goku said they probably defused due to the bad air within Buu's body, but that's only speculation on Goku's part. So the Elder Kaioshin was supposedly wrong all this time. He's supposed to be the smart, competent Kaioshin, unlike Shin, who is totally clueless. Also, he is from 15 generations of Kaioshin ago, making him tens of millions of years old, so he's by far one of the oldest characters in the entire series. He's way older than Gowasu, so you'd think this old Kai would really know what the hell he's talking about. So looking back at the scene of Vegito with the retcon in mind raises a few questions. If you want to apply the retcon to this scene, you can say their fusion reached the 1 hour time limit at this point. However, it feels too convenient that their fusion ended right after Vegito dropped the force field. It's highly unlikely that Vegito was kicking Majin Buu's ass for an hour straight, especially considering how short it was and how long it took 5 minutes to go by for Planet Namek to explode. Also, Goku's explanation to defusing was just a guess and not a concrete answer. But I'm fine with it. I never needed an official answer as to why it happened, especially considering that Majin Buu is OP bullshit. It wouldn't have been the most ridiculous thing in that arc. But whether you're willing to accept this retcon or not, I feel that it was the wrong direction to go. Here are the reasons why the Potara Retcon was a mistake. The Majin Buu arc introduces two methods of fusion, the Metamoran Fusion Dance and the Potara Fusion. The Fusion Dance is a technique that requires the users to be roughly similar in size, to synchronize their breathing, their ki, and their movements, and be perfectly symmetrical. So this form of fusion requires a lot of training to use properly, and one small fuck up can result in a botched fusion. The fusion only lasts for 30 minutes, and the two fusees have to wait 1 hour before they're able to fuse again. It would have been nice if Dragon Ball Super Broly remembered the 1 hour rule. There are a lot of rules to this style of fusion. Meanwhile, the Potara fusion bypasses all of that. Any two people can put Potara earrings in opposite ears and instantly fuse. So no work is required for this fusion. However, there's a catch. Once fused, you remain that way forever, so you're sacrificing your own individuality in order to defeat an opponent that you can't beat on your own. That is the perfect trade-off, although the series cops out and has Vegito diffuse within Majin Buu's body, and doesn't really go into the implications of what their permanent fusion would mean for their wives and sons. But the concept is still there, and it gives something that stops it from being abused. But once Dragon Ball Super rolled in, the very idea of that was thrown out the window. Shin and Kibito had previously fused in the Majin Buu arc and were last seen fused during the Beerus arc, but in the Champa arc, they're shown separate again and say they used the Dragon Balls to defuse. That's not ridiculous, but it does cheapen the Potaras a bit if you can just undo the fusion with the Dragon Balls. Especially the Namekian Dragon Balls, which aren't bound by the no repeat wishes rule the Earth Dragon Balls have. But it seems like this was Chekhov's gun being put into play for the next arc, so Vegito would have a way to defuse. However, that wasn't the case, as they retconned the Potaras to be temporary unless used by gods, which makes me wonder what was the fucking point of diffusing Shin and Kibito if it weren't intended to be used as foreshadowing. Their diffusion serves no purpose in the grand scheme of things, and they go on to absolutely ruin Vegito in the process. I didn't list Vegito in my 13 most wasted characters in Dragon Ball Super video because I always intended to dedicate an entire video on him. Vegito appears and goes on to fight Fuse Zamasu, but he defuses before the new 1 hour time limit even passes, as he supposedly used up all of his energy to maintain the fusion. So they split up early and got their asses kicked until Future Trunks stepped in, although Zamasu should be way out of Trunks' league. Vegito caused no real damage to Zamasu, even with the Spirit Sword and final Kamehameha, but Trunks, who's nowhere close to being God tier, was able to cut Fuse Zamasu in half through the most bullshit means ever. How did Vegito suddenly run out of energy to maintain the fusion? That didn't seem to be a problem for Gogeta in Dragon Ball Super Broly when he was using several energy attacks, including the Soul Punisher and Kamehameha. So Vegito disappears as quickly as he came and was ultimately useless, just as the pseudo Super Saiyan was in Lord Slug and Super Saiyan God was in Battle of Gods. Toei might as well have had them use the fusion dance if that was the case. Speaking of which, this retcon completely invalidates the need for the fusion dance. There is no need to train to use a fusion technique that can be botched and only lasts 30 minutes when you can put on earrings for a quickie fusion that lasts an hour. Goku should just keep Potara earrings on hand for emergencies. Goten and Trunks could just get a pair of earrings at this point. There is no point in doing the gay-ass fusion dance Vegeta hates so much. And thanks to this retcon, the Potaras can be abused. In the Tournament of Power, Champa gave Potaras to Caulifla and Kale as a last resort, and they used them to become Kefla. They can just use them because there's no risk to use them. The only drawback is if they get eliminated, that means 2 go at once, so the other universes think twice before using Potaras. But the fact still stands that anyone can just use them at any time for a free power-up with no risks. Also, Kefla had no problem maintaining her fusion. When she gets upset that she can't hit Ultra Instinct Goku, she periods all over the ring trying to hit him. She's far more wasteful with her energy than Vegito was, but for some reason, that's not an issue for her. So far, only Vegito has had that issue. Gotenks couldn't maintain Super Saiyan 3 for very long, but his fusion didn't end early. Super Saiyan Blue Vegito had his fusion end early, like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta did, but Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta didn't share that issue and used up far more energy than either of them. And Kefla's fusion ended when she was Kamehameha'd out of the ring and her earrings were destroyed. but the earrings remaining intact were never a requirement for maintaining the fusion, so the writers are playing fast and loose with the rules when it comes to how the Potaras work. It also makes me wonder why Toriyama even bothered establishing the Potara fusion being permanent in the first place if he was just gonna have Vegito defuse 3 chapters after fusing. Toriyama always makes shit up as he goes along, and has retconned and contradicted many things throughout the course of Dragon Ball, so this isn't new. But that's not the point of this. This particular retcon is quite damaging, as it ruins many elements of the story to the point that it ruins suspension of disbelief. This retcon is up there with the worst ones, alongside the androids future Trunks warned about, and Super taking place within the 5 years Bulma states she hasn't seen Goku. When there are this many retcons that give a middle finger to the continuity, it becomes hard to take the story seriously. Goku's reasoning for why the fusion ended was all the explanation that was necessary. But since Toriyama and Toei decided to give an official explanation, all they did was ruin the Potara fusion, as well as the very idea of fusion itself. So what do you guys think of this? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content. That'll be the end of this video. Have a good day, everyone. This is Trace, signing out.